Hey, Judy.
Hey everybody.
Hello.
Welcome back for another edition of CT the Club. It's kind of the end of our time together in Change the World Club this season, which is kind of wild. But we've made some art, we've planted some plants. I've planned to plant even more than I've actually planted. And
That's how it goes.
indeed. Today we're kind of going to bring it all together and think about how we as individuals within a bigger community can work together to keep the change going that we want to see.
Absolutely. So we talked about a lot of things in the last few months, but now we're really going to put pen to paper, quite literally, and write some letters to folks that either are standing in the way of the change that we want to see, or maybe can help us in our journey towards that change.
I love that. That sounds great. So some things that we'll need today: a writing utensil,
An envelope.
an envelope. Ooh,
Hopefully.
pre-posted.
Hopefully.
And any old piece of paper. I think it's important to sort of think about who this is going to and how nice you want it to look, or if you want to include some art or whatever, but keep those things in mind. And I don't know, let's talk through some questions to help us get ready for writing this letter. Does that sound good?
That sounds so good.
Cool.
So I think the first question, pretty obvious, right? Like, what is the change that we want to be a part of making
Totally.
or creating?
Yeah.
Personally, there's a lot of things that I want to see different in the world. I think just from food scarcity alone, that's really tough. And so writing, personally, I think I'm going to write towards some of the folks that can help reduce that,
Cool.
reduce rates of hunger around the world or around the country. But really, it could be anything. Gee, who are you thinking about writing?
That's powerful. I think I'm going to keep going with my dream of goats coming to Flying Horse Farms. So David Hennessy, our Chief Property Officer, Master of all things facilities, I think is the person I need to sway to bring goats to camp someday. Someday. So I'm going to write David a letter.
I love that.
That's my plan. So another thing to consider in how you're picking the person to write to is who is that person? Who are the other people who can directly help create the change we want to see? So that's kind of how we both arrived at our people that we're going to write to.
Yeah.
And then, lastly,
Yeah, so how can we connect with them? Now we know who we're writing to. What do we want to say to them? What do we want to ask? And once we've got that connection, how can we use it to help make the change we want to see?
totally. Love that. So let's get into it. We've got our supplies. We've thought through our questions. If you want to pause and discuss or think through these questions a little bit more on your own, great. And we'll keep going. If you were interested, you could have watched that power mapping video that, for me, is a really useful tool in thinking through who that person is that I'm trying to influence and who all the other people are that can maybe help me on my way to making this change. And if you want to skip that, that's great. We already know a bunch of stuff, so we can just go with it. Feels good. So I think I'm just going to write.
I think so too, yeah. I mean, make sure you hit all the basics. You want to look up their address, make sure you've got your envelope dressed properly.
Yeah.
Well, once all that stuff's taken care of, whatever intro you want. Dear, hey, hiya, how you doing? And then just get right to the meat of it.
Yeah, speak from the heart, communicate effectively what you want to say. Remember that everybody is a human being just trying to make it through, so be kind, be gracious, but get your message across. I love that. Dear David.
Hey. Knock it off.
To this day, Cube Camp initiatives, though there are so many great ones, warm my heart as much as the idea of bringing goats to camp. Maybe we could start with the goat field trip. Goats fully yours.
I'm done.
Nice, same.
Okay. Well, now that we have our letters fully written, the last part, maybe the easiest, maybe the hardest. Don't let it blow away.
That's the hardest for me.
Once you've got it firmly secured, you can fold it up. I like to go with the tri-fold, but really do whatever speaks to you. Crumple it up into a ball if you want. And then you're going to put it in the envelope. The envelope should already have postage, so it should be good to go straight to the mailbox from here.
Nice. Ah, flawless.
Well, yours will surely have some addresses written on the front of it, but ours don't yet.
Oops.
But I hope that you share what you wrote your letter about with us. Feel free to talk about it with your family or your friends, and maybe inspire some others to get involved too.
Totally. We think CT Dev Club is all about creating change wherever you are, however you are, whatever you believe in. So let us know what that looks like for you. We're so proud of you for participating with us, and we can't wait to live in the better world that we're all creating together.
Thank you. Bye.
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 Ciao for now.